Good evening. Coming up in Mello TV Evening News. Sections of Hanover and Westmoreland now under curfew. Members of the PNP filed suit against the Attorney General over the extension of the retirement age for the Director of Public Prosecutions, the DPP, and Auditor General. Public Services Commission to investigate accusations against the DPP by a senior prosecutor at her office. And Firearm Licensing Authority gives some firearm holders until this Friday to renew their licenses in light of a strike action at the entity. And now the news in detail. A joint police-military operation was carried out to increase crime and violence in the Barracks Road, Savannah-Lamar, Westmoreland area. Commanding Officer for Westmoreland Senior Superintendent Wayne Joseph gave details of the discovery of two high-powered weapons.
Over the past couple of days to weeks, we have been experiencing a number of conflicts that has been taking place in and around the Westmoreland space. And these conflicts have only served to heighten the tensions in the area and has served to undermine or impact the efforts or the intervention efforts of both the police and our external partners. So over the last couple of days, we have been conducting a number of operations in and around the parish. Currently, we are conducting an operation in the Barracks Road area of Sav. This area is popularly known as Gully Bank. We currently have a 48-hour curfew that is in place in this space, and we are conducting a number of cordon searches. We have assets from Kingston that are assisting us. It's the search center, we have the military, we have our area assets, and we have the police from within the space. So far, we have managed to recover 2 shotguns, and a number of violence producers have been taken into custody, persons who are currently under investigations.
In an attempt to assist the operations, a 48-hour curfew has been imposed in sections of Savannah-Lamar, Westmoreland. The curfew began at 4 p.m. on Tuesday, August 8, and will remain in effect until 4 p.m. on Thursday, August 10. The boundaries of the curfew are as follows. North, along an imaginary line approximately 780 meters from the Dweriza Jerk Center at Goodens River to Chantilly Rose Bar at the eastern boundary. East along Strathbroogie Road, approximately 580 meters from the Chantilly Rose Bar at the bridge at the Dunbars River at the southern boundary. South along Barracks Road, approximately 170 meters from the bridge at the Dunbars River to the Life Learning Center at the western boundary. West along an imaginary line, approximately 170 meters from the Life Learning Education Center to the Dweriza Jerk Center at Goodens River. During the hours of the curfew, all persons within its boundaries are required to remain in their premises unless otherwise authorized in writing by the ground commander. In the meantime, over in Hanover, a curfew has been imposed in wake of a man being shot to death at Macquarie Drive in Hopewell, Hanover on Independence Day, August 6, just minutes before a peace march was slated to take place. Another man was also shot and wounded after the peace march. The communities affected by the curfew are Macquarie and Camp Road in Hanover. The curfew began at 4 p.m. on Tuesday, August 8, and will remain in effect until 4 p.m. on August 10. The boundaries of the curfew are north along Camp Road, approximately 220 meters from the intersection of Bamboo Drive to Church Lane at the eastern boundary. East along Church Lane, approximately 60 meters from the intersection of Camp Road to Macquarie Main Road at the southern boundary. South along Macquarie Main Road, approximately 310 meters from the intersection of Church Lane to Bamboo Drive at the western boundary. West along Bamboo Drive, approximately 90 meters from the intersection of the Macquarie Main Road to the Camp Road at the northern boundary. During the hours of the curfew, all persons within its boundaries are required to remain within their premises for 48 hours unless otherwise authorized by the ground commander.
Sir,
My name is Peter Salke,
could you tell us a little bit about what is taking
Deputy
place?
Superintendent Operations for the Hanover Division. All right. In light of the recent upsurge in criminal activities in Hanover in general, it had been seen prudent to start a curfew in this area. Hence, one was approved commencing yesterday evening at 4 o'clock. We are expecting that persons will comply with the rules that the police will give them in order for us to carry out this process in an effective way. We're in the Macquarie space now. That is where we are standing now. We have members of the military and police that are in this space to ensure your safety. What we are asking you to do, ladies and gentlemen of Macquarie and the surrounding districts, to give us the information that we can bring whatever problems that are in your district under control. Tell us where the persons are so that we can find them, talk with them. Where persons are to be arrested, we can do so effectively. Your community, your priority. We are responsible, but we have to work together.
And still in Hanover, the Lucy police are investigating a shooting incident that occurred yesterday, leaving 2 dead. The deceased are 27-year-old Aeon Richards and 26-year-old O'Neill Spence, both laborers from Mavis Bank in St. Andrew. They were fatally shot at a shop in Industry Cove, Hanover. 3 others were also injured during the shooting. The incident took place around 8 p.m. when armed men opened fire on a group of individuals at the shop and then quickly fled the scene. The wounded individuals were rushed to the Noel Holmes Hospital, where Richards and Spence were declared dead. The remaining 3 victims are receiving treatment. The local authorities, including the Lucy and Green Island Police, are actively investigating this double murder. This incident adds to the rising violence, particularly murders, in the Green Island area this year. As a response, law enforcement has increased its presence to address the growing security concerns.
A number of incidents that we have, we could say contributed to that, because we are in the middle and we are bordered by 2 other parishes that a lot of activities takes place. Persons are pushed from St. James over here and they are pushed from Westmoreland into our space. So you find sometimes some relatives are very accommodating and they take in these persons from the various communities and have them at home. So whenever things play out, because when they accept them within their communities, don't try to find out what is it that you're running away from over in St. James why you want to come and stay with me. And persons probably would venture into our parish and pursue those persons. And as a result of that, these incidents do happen. I think what they should do is find out from them why you want to come to the parish. No, over many years you have not been here. What is it? Is it you're involved in crime? Some criminality? You can't stay here. These are questions that you need to ask persons, because as a result of that, you yourself, being the householder, accommodating them, can be a part of this activity. You can die just the same, because when they're coming, they're not going to check whether it is Tom Brown or whoever is there. They take on the entire family. It depends on the situation where they are at the time. Sometimes 1 out of 10, you might be spared.
Investigators assigned to the Lottery Scam Task Force arrested a member of the Jamaica Defense Force in relation to an incident that occurred at the Sangster International Airport in Montego Bay, St. James on Tuesday, August 8. Reports are that about 1:30 p.m. the JDF member arrived on the island and was in the process of being checked by security personnel. During the routine checks, $40,400 was found in his possession, for which he could not give a plausible account. He was subsequently taken into custody. However, his identity is being withheld pending further investigation. A delegation from Japan's House of Councillors visited Jamaica on August 8. They met with Prime Minister Andrew Holness, discussing bilateral ties, trade and investment. The delegation also engaged in talks with Foreign Affairs Minister Kamina Johnson-Smith. The discussions covered global stability, climate change, and cooperation with CARICOM countries. Jamaica and Japan plan to enhance parliamentary cooperation during the 60th anniversary of their diplomatic relations. The delegation visited UCC Creighton Estates, known for quality coffee, and the South Jamaica Power Center, contributing to emissions reduction and energy security. Two key members of the opposition People's National Party, Philip Paulwell and Peter Bunting, have taken legal action against the amendment made in the Jamaican Constitution that allows the retirement age of the Director of Public Prosecutions, DPP, and the Auditor General to be extended from 60 to 65 years. The Attorney General is the person being sued in this case. Mr. Paulwell and Mr. Bunting argued that this amendment, which grants DPP Paula Llewellyn an additional 2 years in her role, was made for improper purpose. They are seeking a formal statement that the amendment is against the Constitution and has no legal effect. The leader of the opposition, Mark Golding, supports their case, saying that the Amendment Act violates the principle of separating powers and the constitutional process for extending the DPP's term. The lawsuit's goal is to prevent the DPP's tenure from extending beyond her 63rd birthday in September 2023. In the meantime, amidst the lawsuit against the DPP's tenure, the Ministry of Justice's Permanent Secretary, Grayson McFarlane, has formally asked the Public Services Commission to look into accusations brought forth by Kathy Ann Pike, a senior Deputy Director of Public Prosecutions. Ms. Pike raised concerns in a letter to Prime Minister Andrew Holness on July 28, addressing the potential extension of DPP Paula Llewellyn's term. Ms. Pike pointed out several shortcomings observed during Ms. Llewellyn's 15-year tenure. The Minister of Justice, Delroy Chuck, has confirmed that an official investigation will be conducted. Paula Llewellyn has strongly rejected the allegations, labeling Kathy Ann Pike as a bitter employee with interpersonal challenges. In light of yesterday's strike action by employees at the Firearm Licensing Authority, the entity's Chief Executive Officer, Shane Dalling, has announced that certain licensed firearm holders will receive an extension until Friday, August 11 to renew their permits. The extension aims to support gun owners whose renewal process was affected by the ongoing industrial action by FLA employees. The workforce, ranging from ancillary to senior management, called in sick on Tuesday to protest their treatment by the Ministry of Finance during the compensation review exercise. As a result of this disruption, Mr. Dalling has also confirmed that all late fees for affected individuals will be waived. In the meantime, employees and representatives of the Ministry of Finance and the Public Service are said to be having discussions to resolve the impasse. And those are the stories making the news this evening. Thank you for tuning in to Mello TV Evening News. I'm Nicole Hales. Stay safe and thanks for watching.